Welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at Star Trek Infinite Dev Diary number 4, a Trek story. As our Admiral Malando said in Dev Log 2, this game is about telling your own Star Trek story, with every word of that sentence being equally meaningful. It needs to be a story, it needs to be a Star Trek story, but it also needs to be your own. As the canon, Star Trek and the particular era we choose to base ourselves in is brimming with rich material, many stories already told, small and large. It has been studied, memorized, dissected and analyzed by one of the most intensely passionate audiences in pop culture, and Star Trek now encompasses multiple generations of audiences. With all the fandom at large discussed what is canon, where canon contradicts itself, what is not up to the quality of the canon, and similar topics. We've reinterpreted, rationalized and theorized how to make it all make sense to be as coherent as a work of so many different authors can be. This sets up a challenge with high expectations on us, and also everyone will want to see that episode they love be somehow represented in our game. The canon gives us a great starting point. The known characters and political stage and the relationships, something that adds meaning to the events that will unfold from the point the player takes charge. But from then on, the story must be told by the players. So the theme I'm getting here is that the game will stick to a lot of the canon that we know from the three series in the 90s, but that you're also going to be able to tell your own story, put your own flavour on the four main empires, and create basically like alternate histories, or like a mirror universe, I guess, if you like. So you can do those what if scenarios. Maybe you can turn the Federation into an empire, or you can make the Klingons peaceful. I don't know, maybe it's like a blank canvas like that. We'll have to wait and see what the options are and what you can do. So it's good they've done that, and it'll be interesting to see how they actually balance that out and how it plays out with events and the mechanics and the mission tree they've got. And we only have to wait about another week and the game should be out. So the next section, the themes. Some stories we referenced explicitly, repeating specific events seen in the shows. Others are more like Easter egg, subtle references, where people will be trying to remember what episode was that from. But we couldn't just lift episode by episode all the happenings of the quadrants. We need to tell our own stories while making sure they fit the universe and feel authentic. To achieve this, it was important to understand what Star Trek is about. You might think that having so many different shows, movies, authors and fans, this would vary wildly and make it hard to pinpoint, even when focusing just on the 90s shows, but it's not. Star Trek is about exploring all aspects of the human condition and learning to understand and live with one another, no matter how different we are or if we used to be enemies. It's all about empathy, both when it succeeds and when it fails. Another key aspect of Trek is also looking at how things can improve, even when telling its darker stories. The world and our lives can be made better through empathy. We can get there. So it's also fundamentally about hope. So that's sort of laying out the theme the game's going to take, and it's very much sticking to the Star Trek canon, the lore of Star Trek. And I guess at times people get upset with some of the shows which go away from that, and they're really driving the point home here that they're going to stick to the canon. They're basing it totally on the 1990s shows, which is pretty much the core of modern Star Trek, if you include, I guess, the extension of that, which is the Picard era shows, which we've just seen the latest season of. So that's reassuring. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to how they're actually going to execute this, and if they succeed at it. So your story. There are many ways to tell a story in a strategy game. The most obvious of them are the narrative events, but it goes beyond just text in a pop-up, because we know who the four powers are. The event may mean something different for each of them, and when you make a choice, if you don't look only at the mechanic rewards, you are telling a story about who the power you are playing really is. The philosophy was extended to all possible interactions between story and player action. When we set out to design the 4 playable factions, we didn't start by what would be fun, what would be powerful. We started with who are these people, what do they believe in, and their mechanics and traits flowed from there almost naturally. For the mission trees, we asked ourselves, what are the significant history pivotal points and what happened in between? How can we fill the story gaps with beats fitting who they are and what player actions would tell those stories? It's not enough to have the right text in the mission node. The player must live that story. And then we've got a picture of the mission tree here. I'll just enlarge that. So I think we saw that top line in the previous dev diaries, but we've got upgrade the enterprise. You've got Power Section 31, multilateral accords, grow the Federation, expand memory alpha, establish trade routes. So there's a few different mission options there. I like that. Upgrade the enterprise, that's upgrading it to the sovereign class by the look of it. So we know there's going to be hero ships in this game, so I guess the Galaxy Enterprise D, and then upgraded to Enterprise E, which would be the sovereign class there. Must be an option if that's what you take. So a little bit more of the mission tree. As it continues, additionally, it won't be your story if you can't make a few choices and possibly change the very identity of the character you are playing. We went back to the canon and looked into what if possibilities, the alternate paths that were always there and in the stories told by the franchise. What if the Federation failed to uphold its own values? What if the House of Duras took over the Klingon Empire? How would that affect the lore we know of this universe? This is how the story becomes yours. While some things are destined to happen, like invasions from the other side of the galaxy, your choices about who you are, the actors you take, and what that means within this world will tell more stories than we can write. I hope you tell good ones. I look forward to you sharing them with the community. Andres Charma, Technical Director and Honorary Lawmaster. So a couple points I'm getting from that is they're really focusing on the fact that you can rewrite the history of your empire. It's not a set story. It's totally your choice, which direction, what flavor you give your empire or the Federation. Like I said, maybe you go down a more an empire route and a militaristic route with the Federation, and maybe make the Romulans and Klingons peaceful, who knows, and maybe the Cardassians turn into the Ferengi, a trading empire. There's all those type of possibilities by the look of what they're saying here, and it's going to be totally up to the player to make those choices. But you can also play historically, if you like, and not be limited to forcing yourself to play a different alternate history. You can just play the Federation if that's what you want to do and recreate the traditional Star Trek universe. And one thing I picked up there too, I like how it says that there will be invasions. Not an invasion, say a Borg invasion. There is invasions. So, and you'd think if they're also focusing on the DS9 franchise, which they've specifically mentioned, that would include the Dominion invasion of the Alpha and Beta quadrants through the Bajoran wormhole. But we haven't seen anything about the Dominion. So perhaps that's yet to be revealed in the game, or perhaps that is to come. Who knows? So in future expansions, but they specifically mention there invasions, so unless it's a typo, it's a plural, meaning more than one. So I hope you get that as well as I do. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the game will bring over the next week, and looking forward to playing it, and we're going to get it playing multiplayer too, hopefully, if that's a function at the start of the game. I'm pretty sure it is, looking at what I've seen so far. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button for me. Give me some comments on what your thoughts are on the game and how you're looking forward to playing it over the next few weeks. And if you want to join in any discussions about it as well, you can feel free to join my Discord channel, which is pinned in the comments below. So yeah, that's it for this week, guys. Just a short dev diary. They haven't focused on any real game mechanics this week. I think they're just leaving it up to us to explore, other than what they've already shown. They don't want to spoil it, but they're really focusing on that, the canon of the story, the lore, that we can make our own stories, or you can recreate the galaxy as we've seen it in the TV shows and movies, if that's what you want. So it's really your choice to build your own future in the Star Trek galaxy and geography that we all know and love from the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine and Voyager. That's it for this week, guys. Just a short dev diary, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.